Welcome back, guys. This video is going to be a little different today. I'm here with Jordan,
What's going on?
and we're doing a little story time.
Fun story time.
Very fun story time. Interesting story time. Today we are going to be talking about our very first camping trip that we went on without any parents or anything. Right when we turned 18, well, a little bit after, but
Right after graduation.
right after graduation, graduated high school, and we wanted to go camping, and we're gonna be talking about that today.
Yeah, because we have some
A lot of stuff happened on that
a
trip.
lot of stuff happened.
Where should we begin?
I don't know. Nothing happened really leading up to the camping. It was just preparation, you know.
We could have planned that better. But
Oh, definitely could have planned. We also we went during a heat wave, which we'll talk about later.
that was miserable.
It was very bad. It
But
was
we'll get into that.
but it was also nice because we had a lake that we could swim in versus just being in town.
We were camping in the Cascade Mountains at a lake, very popular lake. We were tent camping. I feel like the first thing that happened is right when we got there, there was no one camping next to us, but there was someone camping like kind of across from us.
Did they show up before us, or were they?
Yeah, they were there before us.
Okay.
Because remember, we got there, and we were setting up camp, and
Oh, right. And then he came over and
yeah, this dude comes over and talks to us, and he seems like a nice dude.
yeah, and he was letting us know. He was like, "Hey, I always like to be friendly with the people who I'm camping next to," and so we're like, "Oh, cool! Like this guy's, we got a little friend."
Yeah, and then, then he offered us beer.
And then he offered us beer, and we're like, no,
Only
we're good."
18.
And then when did we first experience his
wife.
his wife?
I feel like it wasn't too much after because I'm pretty sure we were still like getting things organized, and his wife came back from like going on a walk or something. And
Yeah.
I don't think it was much right there, but you could tell
she had a little bit of a.
she was yelling a little bit.
I wouldn't say yelling. She was just raising her voice, and it was just a little awkward.
It was not like she wasn't talking very nice,
No,
and we're just kind of there.
and we're just like, you know what? Maybe she just had a bad day. Like nothing like out of everyone just has a bad day. But it was a little weird that it was like she was making it this public that she was angry.
Yeah, we definitely heard it.
Yeah. And then let's see what. Because that day was basically just getting. Oh, because we had the paddle boards, and we went out paddle boarding for a while, and it was like kind of just relax, and I don't think we did much fishing. We did a little
Maybe
bit
that night, but we
did
were
a
kind of
little
just chilling that night, relaxing. Finally out of the house, relaxing.
Yeah, because we went on that little dock that they have, and we fished a little bit.
Yeah.
But we didn't catch anything.
No, that was awful fishing the first day. And
So,
then the other neighbor showed up.
yeah, so they showed up, the next day?
Yeah. Or no, I think it was I
the-
feel like it was the same day as us, but we were there really early. We were there before check-in.
Well, so the next day, we really got to see the guy's wife,
oh goodness.
because all she did was complain, basically.
The entire
it was like
time.
it was like everything happened, she would just complain, and she'd be very loud about it. She'd let everyone know how she was feeling, and it was very awkward because
We were constantly in the middle of it.
yeah, we're right next to them. And then sometimes, like, after a big argument, he would like come talk to us, and we're just like,
Okay.
Like, we're just kids, man. We don't we wouldn't say that, but it was very awkward.
Then our new neighbor showed up.
And because they showed up the day after. They showed up day 3.
Nah, I thought it was
Or was
earlier than that.
it later day 2?
It was either I thought it was 1 or 2, but regardless, I feel like that was the next thing that kind of happened to us was.
Yeah.
Was
Well,
when
so
they-
let's put this out there that the whole time this is all happening, every time we went fishing, we are catching nothing. We have caught. We are getting skunked to
we were
the
a little
max.
frustrated.
So we were just like on edge about not catching fish. We're like, this was supposed to be our big, like, we're catching fish type thing. And we're not catching anything. And then our new neighbors show up, the people who are going to be camping right next to us. And it's a woman, older girl, like a daughter, who's probably about our age.
Maybe a little younger.
Maybe a little younger. And then a little girl, just like a little girl.
And then
and they got a yapper dog, which we're already like, oh, damn it, like
right next to us.
Yeah, which it's like, and obviously we didn't say anything because we're nice people. So the dog is kind of yapping, and as it's yapping, what happens, Tristan?
So all I remember is this dog's yapping, and the wife that has already been complaining to her husband the entire time walks by and turns to our new neighbors. She's coming back
from a walk.
Yeah, she's coming back from a walk, and the dog's yapping at her as she walks by, and she turns to them and says some smart aleck comment like,
it was like, oh great, or something,
or like, oh that's nice, or
yeah, I think that's what it was,
something smart,
like that's awesome or something,
yeah, something like that. And then I just went, oh no.
Yeah, because you could tell that these people with the dog were also one of those, like, they're not campers. Like they were just like we're gonna go camping for like a day, and like you could tell these people didn't just go camping all the time.
As soon as she said that smart aleck comment, the lady with the dog
she clapped back.
She clapped back, and she clapped back hard.
She was like, she was like, excuse me, or like, what was that?
Or so I thought she said like, that's such a great way to start out your camping
yeah,
trip.
that is what she said. It was
and then the first lady was like,
and then she tried to make an excuse that she was talking about like something her husband said, like,
which is totally
it was BS.
No shot.
It was BS.
No shot. That's what it was.
Didn't she try to make an excuse that it was like, oh, he said he was gonna cook this for dinner, and so I was saying that's awesome, or like something like that. And
yeah,
the lady, and they were just
dumb.
And they were just like, and then they went back and forth for a while, like at least 5 minutes. They were just kind of arguing back and forth, kind of yelling at each other. But to put this in perspective, we are right in the middle of this. So there's one lady on our left, and the other people are on our right. And so we're just sitting there in our campsite. We were just talking, I think, but they're just like basically arguing, and we're just monkey in the middle, basically.
Yeah, they're literally arguing across us.
Yeah, they weren't like
this is literal. Like they are literally arguing over the top of us.
Yeah, it was, and we're just sitting there like, do we say something? Like,
we're just like, what do we do?
And then the daughter started like getting into it because she was like, why can't you just leave it alone? And we're like, bro, the daughter is like more mature than you guys. Like,
yeah, it was ridiculous.
And we didn't know, we didn't want to get into it, so we didn't say anything. We just kind of let it ride out, and then like 5 minutes go by, and then they kind of split off and stopped.
It went on for a while.
But after a while, they stopped arguing, and we're like, okay, that was whatever. And then, like, what, maybe 10 to 20 minutes later, the wife comes back to apologize.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't like starting off our camping trips, like, in a bad... I don't know. But, so she tries to apologize.
It was kind of like... She was kind of being a smart aleck about it again,
yeah,
too.
It wasn't really like an apology. It was more of like a... Like, I want to seem like the good guy here.
Yeah.
It wasn't really like a... I'm saying it... I don't know. It was weird. But then, like... That didn't go well, I feel like, either. Like, something ended up... Someone said something...
I'm pretty sure they started at it again for a little bit. Until... I'm pretty sure the husband stepped in and was like, hey... And then he came, and after it was all done, offered our other neighbors dinner or
Oh,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. He was like, I don't want this to be the
Yeah,
camping
he's
trip.
like, do you guys want dinner or something?
The whole time, this guy's being nice to us. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if he was putting on a face too, because
yeah,
it's
I mean,
possible.
it's very possible, but he was
But
being very nice to us.
He was
and
being
everyone
nice,
else.
so we're gonna give him the benefit.
And we
of
never
the doubt.
and we never saw him being mean to the
no,
wife. He was always
constantly.
he was always like doing what she asked, even like if it was in the really like rude manner, like of what she said. Like he was always at least from what we saw.
He was
he was
constantly being yelled at.
Yeah, he was being yelled at, but he always like kept his cool, which was cool to see. I don't know, maybe it's different at home, but
Yeah, I don't know.
because they also had kids. But so he offers them dinner. I think they rejected it, but they were like, "Thank you" or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, so then we go fishing that night.
That was fun. No fish
Oh,
once again.
was that the day that we went like out into the water fishing, and we saw fish?
Oh, that was when. So we found a spot to go like paddleboarding and floating. There's like a little cove type thing, and not as many people. You couldn't really get a boat in there because it's a cove.
Yeah.
So we went and paddleboard and swam around and stuff, hung out in the water. And there was a catfish. One of the things we wanted to catch while we were there was catfish. And one of them literally swam past my feet. Like, I probably could have grabbed it with my hand.
We saw a couple swim past.
There's a couple.
Because I saw one swim past me as well.
And so we had the idea, we're going to go try to fish for him that night. So we did. And we had to have been out there for 2 or more hours. We were grinding, trying to catch these fish. And just nothing.
Yeah. Like, no, we weren't even getting bites. Like, it was...
No, it was
and we were out there for a good, I don't know.
We were trying hard. Yeah. We just wanted to catch some fish.
Yeah.
Like, I do not like getting skunked.
Well, and
so
that was like one of the main reasons that we were out there was because we wanted to fish. Like,
yeah.
We didn't just go camping to go camping. We went camping so that we had 3 days where we could fish, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And knowing us, we were going to make the most of that. And being day 2, and we'd already put plenty of hours into fishing, and there was nothing. It was very frustrating.
And let's put into perspective that we didn't come very prepared. I mean, we were decently prepared, but, like, we forgot trash bags.
Yeah.
And then we drove probably for about an hour total to different, like, corner stores because it's out in the middle of nowhere. So there's not, like, a town, really. And we went to multiple corner stores, and, like, they were all sold out. We finally found one that sold, like, the crappiest trash bags ever. And then we were like, oh, if we catch a fish, we need somewhere to put it. So we were like, I guess we'll get Ziploc bags because we didn't want the fish, like, contaminating our other food.
Getting everything all smelly.
So we had to find those as well. We were constantly having to buy ice because of the heat.
It was, I think one day it got up to like 108 degrees.
Yeah, it was insane.
So you can imagine how that felt.
We were buying ice multiple times a day. Like, we'd buy a bag, it would melt within the day, and then we'd have to buy another bag. And firewood wasn't as big of an issue.
We didn't bring it because we didn't really have room, so we bought it there.
Yeah,
but
which wasn't bad. It was cheap there.
Honestly, I've always heard that buying firewood, like the wood they give you, isn't great. But our wood, it worked well. It was pretty dry, and we made some good fires out of it, so that wasn't bad.
The biggest problem was that their firewood didn't come with, like, kindling, so we didn't have, like, starter basic stuff, which
we
sucked.
figured it out.
But you had the fire starters that you brought.
Yeah.
And then, let's see. So, next day.
Went to the dam.
Oh, we went to that was...
We were kind of desperate to catch fish. I'm not normally someone that likes to fish off of a dam with bait. That's just not what I like to do. And
yeah, well, because that trip is when we made our pact that we're done fishing with bait. We're done with power bait. We're done with worms.
But that came later. That was...
Yeah. We're still fishing with power bait at this point. And we went to the dam, and there's probably 10 other groups of people, like 10 other people there.
Yeah, there's some other people. And right away, we see a guy catch a fish. So
Yeah.
we're like, we got this. We're finally going to do it.
This is
This
and
is
we
it.
went like very early in the morning as well. Like
It was still pretty...
prime catching fish time.
Yeah. And there's other people catching fish. Like, we're seeing them. So we're like, we're going to do it. And we had to have been out there for another 2 to 3 hours. And just nothing.
Yeah.
We were just fishing. We just could not catch them.
And we're seeing, as we're fishing, we're seeing multiple people catch fish on the exact stuff we're using. Power bait, like
we weren't doing anything sophisticated. We were literally just throwing power
and we're
bait
like
in
looking
water.
at the power bait they're using, and it's like, we have that power bait. We're using that power bait, and we are not catching it. We're not even getting bites. We're not getting anything. And then, but there was like a couple times where like our power bait would be gone. Like something would have taken our power bait or it fell off, but I doubt that because...
Yeah, but long story short, still zero fish.
When did we go to the area near the dam?
I think it was I think it's the same day as the dam, but right before.
Yeah, because there was a spot where it was on this very like steep hill.
Which I'd fished before and caught fish from it, so that's why
Yeah.
I had the idea to go there.
Yeah, and
And
we
It's like
there we threw on like the rooster tails and stuff.
still
And we
nothing.
didn't get anything. I want to say I feel like something happened there where we like saw fish or like
We saw salamanders.
We did. We saw salamanders. Because didn't we start catching the salamanders? Because we were
Yeah.
like, we need to catch something.
Yeah.
Which not the most like ethical thing to do, but you know we were
They were
desperate.
fine.
We didn't like hurt them. And then because we were seeing fish jump. That was the big
Oh
thing.
yeah.
There were fish jumping everywhere,
But not on our lines.
and we couldn't really use our fly poles.
We didn't even bring them that time. I don't
Yeah.
think.
Because we were just, it was on a hill basically. Like we
It
weren't
would
like,
have been really tough.
we weren't on flat land. Like it was like we were basically like laying down almost on rocks as we're fishing. Because like you can't, I don't know, it was hard to stand because you're just on these like rocks, and then if a rock slips, you just kind of fall with it. So
Yeah.
it was a little sketchy.
It was
but,
a little sketch.
but it was, I don't know, it was really nice. It was a nice area, but still no fish.
And then we did some swimming and stuff that day. Then actually one of our friends was there with their family at the lake. They weren't fishing or anything like that, but they invited us to come on their boat and do some tubing real quick.
That
so
was fun.
there's this guy on the boat named British Matt.
He was a character.
He was something else. Well, in the name British Matt, you can assume he's British, so he's got that accent, and he was just constantly making jokes. And
Yeah. He's a fun. He made it really fun. And then we did some tubing. You know,
They flipped us on our faces.
took him a while though.
It did. We got some air.
Yeah, we had some close calls where we pulled through, and they were getting desperate to like flip us off the tube.
I have one of the clips of us flipping off.
Oh,
I
yeah.
might be able to put it in here.
I might have some videos of that too.
If I have it and I can get it on here, it will be inserted here. If it's not inserted there, I'm sorry, I couldn't get it, but I think I can. So I have it on my phone.
Yeah.
I don't know how good the video will be, but it's a video.
I mean, I have some that one of them took. So
But so went tubing, that was fun. And then that night I had the idea, I was like, hey, what if we need to try something new? What we're doing for fishing is not working. What if we go to where the river enters the lake?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I didn't know if we were gonna catch fish. I had never fished it before.
You had known the spot though, right? Like you kind of knew.
I kind of knew where it was, but I didn't know how fishable it was. I just was like, let's go look.
So I don't know. It was later at night when we went. It was like.
It was probably
7.
like 6 or 7.
Because we would go and we would basically fish till dark.
Yeah.
Which would be at least 2 hours of fishing.
So we get there, We find a spot. We start fishing. We're probably fishing for like 2 to 3 minutes.
Well, so the first thing is we get there, and we already see people fishing where we're going. So we're like
quite a bit.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of people. There's still space though.
Yeah, not too many people to where it's like crowded. Well, if we got closer to like fast moving water, it was crowded, but we kind of spaced out. We didn't want to take anyone's space.
And so we had a little bit of hope. We were like, okay, like this, like people are here, so that must mean that fish are here.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we get there, we see dude with like, he's got like his fish all hooked up, and
yeah.
So, and then
I was using my fly rod right off the bat. I remember that. I don't remember what I was using on that, but I got out my fly rod.
I can't remember. I think, did I do that? Oh, no. Because we went out there because we were like, because this was my first time, because I had just bought a fly rod.
Yeah, we were going out there because
we were just
like,
going out.
Even if we don't catch a fish, we can get some fly rod practice.
Yeah, we just went out there to practice. That was the big
We weren't
thing.
really expecting anything.
And then when we saw everyone, we were like, okay, we
might actually be able to catch something.
So did we both start out on the fly?
I think we might have, because I was kind of just showing you like how to cast, even though I don't. Even now, I'm not that great with one. I'm still learning, but
it worked.
We figured out a fly that worked, and we finally started catching a couple fish.
I can't remember who caught the first fish.
I think I did, because I figured out.
That's
I'm
right.
pretty sure you were still using a nymph, like,
and you were using like the cricket.
I got a dry fly.
It was like the cricket, right?
It kind of looked like a cricket. I don't even know what it's called. It's a little cricket with a little puff ball on top. But I was just drifting that on top. Had no idea what I was doing, and a fish came and ate it, and I caught it, and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But even before that, some stuff went down.
Oh, yes. Yes.
This is probably the most entertaining part of the story.
This was like the highlight. Well, maybe not the highlight, but one of the funniest things that happened on this trip. It was great. So, probably about 10 feet, not even 10, closer than 10, like 5 feet away from us sitting down is...
I swear she moved, like when we got there, I swear she like moved towards
She
us.
probably did.
Because I feel like we gave everyone space.
Yeah, we tried to stay away from people and give everyone space to do their thing. But it's this older lady. She's sitting on a rock, right by the water. She's got her feet in the water, and she's just sitting there. And keep in mind, she's really the only person there, and in that area, who's not fishing.
Yeah.
And she's right next to us. And probably, I don't know, like 50 feet away to our right, where like the more still water is where people are like kind of swimming and floating, like very far away from us, maybe more than 50 feet. Like they're just like, it was kind of this like, if you're over in the still water area, you're swimming. If you're over in this moving water, you're fishing, kind of. Yeah. But this lady's sitting right next to us, and she's like, she just has her feet in the water, and we're like, whatever. She's just enjoying herself, like having a time, and she starts talking to us, and she, I don't know, how did she start it? She was basically like asking. She said, can you guys fish somewhere else? Like asking us if we can fish somewhere else. And she's like, people swim here, and they could
step on a hook.
They could step on a hook and really hurt themselves. And
I was the closest one to her, and I was like, I get what you're saying, but just so you know, like, I mean, at that point I was kind of making up an excuse because I really didn't want to move. Yeah. I was finally in a spot that I felt like I could catch.
We were catching fish. We're like, we're not moving.
And so I told her, I was like, with all due respect, I'm fishing a dry fly on top of the water. The chances of me hooking a rock and losing it on a rock and someone stepping on it's really slim.
The hook is so small, you're not going to hurt yourself on a tiny little fly. And then she keeps talking. She's like, well, like, you have to have respect for other people, and like, these fishes are going to, like, you're not... I don't know. I can't even remember what she was saying. She was just rambling about how...
She was trying to get us to leave.
She was trying to... Which is funny because there's 25 plus other
so,
fishers
so
out there.
we were both like, what about these other people fishing? Like, why are you saying stuff to us
And she's
and
like,
not them?
I don't know.
She's just like, this is where people swim, and
Yeah.
this. I was like, no.
And so
that's
then,
not how this is
so
gonna
then
work.
I was getting kind of angry because I was like, no, we found our spot where we're catching fish. People are fishing here. So I was like, I was kind of keeping quiet, and then I turned to her and I was like, okay, think about it. What is the real difference that, people can swim anywhere. If I fish out in the lake, people are going to go out in the lake and step in the water. Like, there's really no difference if we fish here or if we fish, 100 feet from here. Like, people can swim anywhere, people can fish anywhere. Every time you get in the water, you're taking a risk because you don't know what's at the bottom of that water. And if you don't want to wear water shoes, that's your problem.
And even more so, I found out later that this is like a really popular place for people to fish. This isn't just like a swimming hole. No, this is a place that people go to fish. This is a normal fishing spot. She has no right to tell us to leave.
Yeah, this lady's just trying to start problems. Now, across on the other side of the little river area, there's these two dudes, probably about our age, maybe
a year or two older.
Yeah, maybe a year or two older, who are also fishing. They look like friends. They brought their kayaks out, and they had some words with her because they saw her basically, like, I don't want to say harassing us,
and we were being pretty respectful.
Yeah.
About what we were saying. Like, we were telling her off.
Yeah, we're not gonna be like, whatever. We're not gonna yell at her and try to get into a big fight because we're just trying to have fun and fish, But these two guys see her talking to us and trying to get us to stop fishing, and they had some words with her from across the river.
I just remember the first thing they said. They're just like, "Stop being an effing Karen."
Yeah, they're just calling her a Karen. They're just screaming at her, and we're just kind of like,
we're just kind of laughing.
We were laughing.
At that point, we were like, when they started, we had already been dealing with her for a little bit.
Yeah.
So we did not care at that point.
We didn't care about being nice to her anymore. We didn't want to. We were like,
she was just harassing us, and we were done with it. So
and so they start yelling at her, calling her a Karen, being like, "Get out of here, Karen!" Like, "F you," blah blah blah. And so we're just kind of laughing. We're just like, all right, we're gonna let them yell. And so she starts talking to them and starts being whatever, and they're like, "Shut the they're not listening to anything she's saying. They're just like, "Leave. If you don't like it, then leave." Blah. And whatever. And so she's like, she continues to just sit there.
I'm pretty sure she threatened to call the cops, and they're like, "Do it then."
Well, no. Do you remember why she threatened to call the cops?
Okay, that I know what you're talking about now. So basically, they were fishing too, and then they started casting their rooster tails, their inline spinners, in her direction. Like, probably a foot from her feet. They
would land right next to her.
And she was like, "If you guys hit me, I'm gonna get you for assault." And then they're like, "Do it, beat." And
they're just like, "Do it, I dare!" Like, it was hilarious.
And she, I think, just after all that's going down, she just kind of gave up.
Yeah.
I mean, she tried fighting it, but she was outnumbered and she knew it, and she just eventually gave up and left.
Yeah, because she got up. I want to say she like started recording. I think she was recording them because they were casting at her, and so she would have evidence or whatever.
And they started recording too.
They were recording her, and then so she gets up to start leaving, and she like, it took her a while to leave. Like, she got up and walked away, but then stopped and turned around and started talking again. And, like, they were just like, "Bye, Karen. Bye, Karen."
Yeah.
Like,
and she flipped them off.
Yeah, and she was like, I feel like she said something like, "I'm gonna get the police." I don't know. She might not have, but I swear it took her, like, at least 10 minutes to actually leave.
It took her a while. She was set on, I don't know what she was set on, but I think she's just trying to start something. I don't really know.
So she finally leaves, and we're just like, that was funny. I wish we had, like, our GoPros.
Yeah, this was before we had even bought GoPros to make videos, so, like, I wish I would have had mine. And honestly, that trip is when I decided to start recording, because figuring out stuff like that happened when I was fishing.
Yeah.
I have to get that stuff on camera.
Exactly.
So,
And so that night we actually caught a decent amount of fish.
that was,
what,
I
12?
wouldn't say that was our best time fishing that trip.
Our last night was our best night.
But
For sure.
we figured out the fish. I think we caught 3 or 4 on fly rods, and then we switched to spinning rods.
Mm-hmm.
And just because there's enough people, it's kind of hard to cast the fly rods. We switched to spinning rods. I think we caught we were close around 10 fish,
Yeah.
10 to 13 probably, and some decent sized fish too. So,
And so we were like, okay, this is our spot. Like, we're not going anywhere else for fishing. We're doing this the rest of the time. So we pack up that night.
we did our catch and cook that night, I believe, because I believe we did.
No. We kept the fish, but then we cooked them the next day for lunch.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right. But the next morning, we also went back to that spot and caught some fish.
And then you caught your biggest one
The
time.
I think it was 18 inches long. Decent fish, especially
was
for a
fat.
hatchery fishery. It was a very nice fish,
So
very
you caught-
colorful.
You caught your PB for at the time. I don't know.
For the trip, at least.
Yeah.
And then
so the next day we had about, how many fish do you think we kept? 3, I think.
yeah, we kept 3 and
Released
ate 'em.
the rest.
We just kept those 3 so we could do a quick catch and cook.
Yeah,
And they were delicious.
Yeah, we cleaned them out and we threw them into a pan with
Lots of butter.
lots of butter and some garlic salt,
Yep.
and we just basically
And a little lemon juice, I
a
believe.
little lemon juice, fried them up, and just ate just the fish. It was delicious.
So good.
We were sitting at our picnic table that they had and we were I don't know, probably eating it for a good 20 minutes, just every bite we're
It was good.
this was the best bite, and then our
Best
next
trout.
bite, this was the best bite. It was so good, and I wish I could eat it again, which we will be eating it again soon. When we go
we're
back.
going back. We're going back in a couple weeks, so maybe we'll have more stories.
Yeah,
but
maybe we'll have some, and we'll actually get some footage because we're bringing our GoPros.
Then that night we went fishing again in that spot, and we crushed the fish. I think we caught 15 fish.
And that was when I caught my personal best trout.
And you were catching fish
and
left
I was
right.
It was every other cast I was catching a
You
trout.
found the rooster tail color that the fish were into.
Yeah, it was insane. It was cast, catch a fish, cast 2 more times, catch nothing, cast again.
I mean, I was catching some fish. I think I caught 4 or 5, but
I caught 7. No, I caught
you
10.
caught close to 10 fish.
It was
every other cast. I was catching fish consistently, but you were catching fish rapidly.
Yeah, it was it was crazy.
Every other cast, if not every cast.
It would be we would be talking about the fish that I just caught,
and you're like,
and I would hook one right there. It was insane.
And you caught a nice fish too.
And so that day was the hottest day, right?
Yeah.
So we were spending a lot of time in the water, spending a lot of time fishing out in the water on our floats, just hanging out, just trying to beat this heat wave, because we didn't have any indoor AC.
No, we were in a tent.
The most we had was my car, where we would go to the corner store to buy ice, and we'd have that 15 minutes of AC.
It's not like you could just leave the car running. You're
Right.
out in the middle of nowhere. The nearest gas station is 45 minutes to an hour away.
Yeah, it was.
You couldn't just.
It would. Yeah, it was you can't just waste gas, and we're also not trying to spend a buttload.
No,
of money.
we had already spent quite a bit of money just being there and getting that trip going.
Yeah, so we're slamming the fish that night. We switched to our fly rods. And I was catching more fish on the fly rod. I caught the little dink.
Yeah, you're catching.
Because there was I don't know, 3 fish that I was I'm not even counting these as fish because they were probably
they were tiny.
3 to 4 inches, not even
So
that.
we get done fishing, caught a crap ton that night.
Well, should we? Because we met the guy that night.
Oh yeah.
We met the
true.
guy, one of the guys who was yelling at the Karen from the night prior.
Yeah, he came and talked to us, offered us a beer. Again, had to deny.
Offered us a beer. He was like, "Y'all want to see me shotgun this?"
Yeah.
And we're like, "I mean, we don't really care if you shotgun it or not."
Well, he did it.
And he did it, and we were like, "Cool." And so he was talking to us about the Karen from the night, and he was like, "Yeah, I hate those people who try to ruin people's fun just because they want to fish, and you're doing everything right, and they still just find every way they can just shut down your fun." And we're like, "Yeah, it sucks." So we're talking, and then I was like, "All right, I'm gonna move spots really quick. I'm gonna move about 20 feet this way," and I'm walking, and I see this little thing on the ground, and I'm like, "What? That looks like a dab pen, like a weed pen."
Yeah.
And I pick it up, and sure enough, it's a weed pen. And I was like, "Tristan, I found weed." And it was, I don't know, I was like, and there's no one around it, so it's not. And I asked the dude if it was his, and he was like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay." And I was like, I don't know what to do with this because I don't smoke weed and I don't do that stuff. And I was like, but I don't want to just keep it, but I also don't want to just leave it laying here for a kid to come pick up and mess with.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and this thing's full. Keep in mind,
it's
this thing's full.
This thing
battery is charged.
Yeah, I was like, I pressed the little button to see if it was charged or not, and it made the little that little, I don't know the little burning sound.
Yeah.
And the light was green, I think. So I was like, okay, that probably means it's pretty charged. And then I was like, well, I don't know what to do with this. And then the dude was like, well, I'll take it.
I'll take it for my girlfriend.
Yeah, he goes, I'll give it to my girlfriend, but I don't smoke. And we're like, okay, buddy.
Yeah, whatever.
This guy sounds like he smokes a lot
day,
of. Yeah, he was like, and he looked like he did too. He didn't have.
You could tell. You just got the. Fun.
He was a little full of BS with that part. We're like, okay, buddy, here you go, and we gave it to him. Pretty sure he was underage too, because
he was a nice dude.
He was 18. No, was he 18? Because I remember he was like, yeah, my girlfriend's 21, and we're like, oh, you're one of those guys.
I thought he was 19.
He might have been.
I don't know.
But yeah, so we gave it to him, and we catching fish, all that. Oh, should we talk about? Because by this point, the neighbors with the yapper dog had left.
Yeah, they were gone.
And because the night before, their dog was yapping at probably 5 in the morning.
All night long.
All night, yeah. It was really hard to sleep because it was yapping all night
and
long.
The fact that it was 80 degrees. But...
Well, that was this night, though, right?
Oh, you're probably right.
I think because it was also... Let's see. So, the yapper dog people had left after their dog was yapping. And then the morning of the day we slayed all the fish, the dude comes up to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, could you guys come help me really quick with, I don't know, we had to lift his little trailer
he had a trailer that he needed to lift up real quick or something because his wife left him.
His wife and kids left to go home because they were too hot. It was too hot, and they wanted to go home, so they just dipped.
Didn't help him clean up anything.
Yeah, he had no help with cleaning, and so we helped him a little bit with that, and we felt super bad because his energy from when we first met him to that time, his energy was he just seemed sad,
almost depressed.
Yeah, he didn't seem good, and we just felt really bad, and helped him out a little bit, and then he left, and he was like, I don't know, he was supposed to be there for another.
I think you're supposed to be there for the week.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was only 3 days in, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm supposed to be here till this day, and I'm debating whether I should just stay or go home." And he's like, "But I think I'm gonna just head out because whatever." And so we're like, "All right, well,
yeah,
have a good one. Nice meeting you." And he left, and then so the night that we slayed all the fish was peak of the heat wave.
Oh yeah, it was ridiculous.
we go to bed. So we're going to bed at, I don't know, maybe 11 midnight, because we were like, we want to get up and go fishing at the spot one more time in the morning before we have to leave.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's 11:30 to midnight probably, and it's still 85 degrees outside. Like,
yeah, like middle of the night. It's
middle of the
85
night,
degrees.
it's hot. Like
I'm sweating.
we're sweat. I think we basically stripped down as much clothes as we could, and had 0 blankets on us.
I eventually took towels and doused them in water, and was literally using a cold, wet towel as a blanket.
I think at one point I remember at one point I threw my sleeping bag off of my cot because I was like, this is too fluffy to be like laying on it, and I was literally, I think I was just in my underwear, just like, because I was like, and I was sleeping purely on the cot, just the rough material of the cot, because it was the coolest surface. And then my pillow, I basically didn't even like, I was using as little of the pillow as possible, because I wanted a little cushion to lay on. But like, if my whole head was on the pillow, then my face was a little covered, and like I was breathing the hot air, and it was a miserable night of trying to, and it was like that until, I don't know, 1 or 2 before it got down to maybe 70 degrees.
Maybe.
Like,
it was hot all night.
It was
I don't
hot
know
all night.
how we slept.
Yeah, we finally sleep a little bit, and we wake up the next morning, and we're like, well, that sucked, and go to the fishing spot where we were like, we're gonna catch a fish.
And we look at the water, and it's brown.
And it's, yeah, so the nights before, the water was very clear, very nice looking. It was really nice. And this time, it was like mud water. And we're like, what happened?
And I think what happened was, it was so hot that all the snow melt on top of the mountain melted. And so then all of that, the snow melt caused the river to get muddy.
Yeah.
The water clarity sucked. We fished for probably not even an hour.
No,
Didn't get a
it was
single
like,
bite.
It was like 30 minutes, and we're just like,
we were tired.
We were
just
very
like,
tired.
Let's just go pack
exhausted.
up and go home.
We hadn't, like, we didn't shower that, because we had showers there, and we did a little bit. But that night of the heat wave, we hadn't showered that morning, so we were sweaty and gross and tired, and like, so much had happened with like the neighbors, and like we were just, I think like,
Yeah.
I think we were physically and mentally exhausted. Like, we were just like, we were like, do you just want to go home? Like, we're like, I'm tired, I want to go pack. I don't want, like, because we still had to deal with the tent and packing everything. So we're just like, let's just go pack everything up and let's just go home, like, because we're not going to catch any more fish. Checkout is in 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours, and we're like, we're done. Like, and so we ended up just packing up and heading out pretty early. Because I mean, we had what, 2 hour drive ish to get back home.
Yeah, hour and a half, 2 hours.
Do you wanna talk about what happened at Burger King?
Oh,
Because we were done with anyone's.
we just wanted a quick like lunch.
Yeah, we were very hungry because
I think we got there at like 10:59.
It was 10:58.
10:58.
And they served lunch at 11, and we
So
didn't want breakfast. We wanted lunch.
We wanted lunch, so we get in there and we're like, we ordered lunch food.
Yeah, so we both
And
ordered
they're like,
Whoppers.
we do not serve lunch food until 11 o'clock. And I'm like, so do we just need to come around the line again? And then once it's 11 o'clock, we'll eat? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm the driver, and I'm ordering, and I ordered, well, because it was weird, because on the breakfast menu, their number 13 on the breakfast menu was a Whopper.
Yeah.
And so I was like, can we get 2 number 13s? And she goes, we don't serve breakfast until 11, or lunch until 11 o'clock. And I was like, I didn't question it being on the menu, and I look at the clock, and it's 10:58. So I go, so if I leave and pull out of here and come back in 2 minutes, you're gonna serve me lunch. And she did the, yep. And I was just like, okay. And so I like pull out of the line and I go into the parking lot.
We didn't even go in the parking lot. I'm pretty sure we literally just went around.
Yeah, well, we sat there for a little bit because I remember the person came out and flipped the menu like right after we left.
Yeah, which just...
And then I pulled right back up within like maybe a minute, and then she was just like, "Can I?" And then she was really mean the rest of the time.
She was just like sassy and just.
She was
like...
very sassy with us. Didn't like. I don't even. Something happened after we ordered, because I ordered and it was like she was very short, and then she would never ask if we needed anything else. Like it was just very like, and normally like I can deal with that kind of stuff. Like I'm just like whatever, they're just not having a good day. But me myself being very mentally exhausted and not in the mood to take any crap, I was very short with her as well, and I was, it's a little on the rude side, which is not my best moment, but I was, she was also not,
yeah, we weren't having it.
She wasn't being customer service, which, it's a fast food, so I don't expect much, but so we get up to the window, and I think I just handed my card without even looking. Like, I don't think I looked at her. I think I just, like, held my card out the window, and I was just, like, tired, and I was like, whatever. Takes my card, pays for the food, and the entire time we say nothing to each other. She wouldn't look at me, I didn't look at her. She didn't say anything to me, I didn't say anything to her. She handed the drinks, I took the drink, she handed the food, and she closed the window. And I drove off, and I was like, well, there you go. Oh, and also, she wasn't wearing a mask, I remember. And this was like one of the peak points of COVID, I remember.
Oh, yeah.
And we were both like, well, that's cool. Like, our food is going to be contaminated. No. But it was just like, I don't know, I think we were just looking for stuff to diss on her about.
Yeah, I don't think we truly cared.
No, we didn't really. But we were just like, we just wanted to be like, ugh, she's not wearing a mask. Like,
we were trying to give her crap.
Yeah, we just wanted something to like diss on her about, because we just didn't like her. And then
we went home.
And then we ate. I dropped you off at your house.
Unpacked everything.
And I headed home.
Trip.
And that was the end of it. Which, looking back on it, was a very good trip.
It was very fun.
there were more highlights than there were lowlights.
Honestly, the stuff that was like that was kind of like bad. Honestly, I'm kind of glad it all happened, because it's like stories to look back on.
Gives us a lot more to talk about and laugh about.
It was funny.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Super funny trip.
And it was just like I said, more highlights than lowlights. There was more good that happened than bad, so it was a good trip overall. I would do it again, which we are doing it again, and probably gonna have some stories for that, hopefully.
Yeah,
and some footage. This time we can actually like show you what happened. Maybe you could throw in some like pictures of the trip.
I might be able to throw in pictures of fish, or maybe
us catching some fish, and
I could probably do the clip from the tubing, and I don't know what all I have, but I have some
stuff too. So I have like pictures of the fish fry we did, the catch and cook, all that. So, but
all I gotta say is, don't let Karens ruin your fishing trip.
Yeah, if someone's
let Karens ruin your fishing trips.
As long as you're doing everything you're doing is legal and you're doing everything right, and someone's trying to get you to stop fishing, just be like, because I would say 90% of the time, the people who are trying to get you to stop fishing have no idea what they're talking about. Yeah. They don't know any of the laws. They don't know anything. So as long as you're not breaking any rules, just say screw you and keep fishing. Like,
if we would have left when the Karen told us to left, we wouldn't have caught a fish.
Right, exactly. If we left when she said leave, we would have continued to be skunked, and we would have not had the best trip. So, moral of the story:
don't listen to Karens.
No, that's not the moral. But
I like that moral.
I like that moral. Moral of the story is have fun.
Have fun.
But also don't let Karens talk to you.
Karens suck.
Well,
guys, I think.
Wait, and if you're listening to this and you are a Karen, don't be a Karen.
Don't be a Karen. I think that's kind of the end of the
That's-
video,
yeah,
Jordan.
that's the end of the story.
I appreciate you guys, anyone that's actually gotten this far. It's kind of a long one. I hope it was entertaining. Let me know in the comments if you would like any more of these videos again. I have a couple ideas of more stories I can do.
Yeah, we've got some more stories to tell.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure we'll have more stories in the future.
Some stories just require more people.
Yeah. Vaughn, if you're hearing this is your calling.
This is your calling for the camping story.
You already know. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. There's going to be some new content coming out soon. I'm trying to be more consistent, and I have ideas. I'm going to be posting more, so be looking at that. I'm going to try to grow this thing. I'm trying to make this...
We've got some stuff behind the scenes we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. It's coming. I definitely want this to be more of a consistent thing. And so if you guys are enjoying it so far, keep in tune, and we'll get it to you. So like, subscribe, leave a comment, anything like that, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.
Thank you.